Hey everyone, and welcome to this simple basket pack video where we're going to be building something very similar to this right here, except it's going to have a little different bit of a bottom and we're going to mount it sideways instead. The brilliant thing about this simple basket pack is that you're going to learn the fundamental basics of the 3D system within Multiboard, as well as half multipoints, which are a brilliant, simple little way of mounting something up onto a board without having to deal with any tricky angles. Now, all the parts you're going to be needing are these right here. Now, a few of these are pre-assembled just to make it a little bit faster. And of course, this is a multi-maker pack. So if you want to simplify your life and just get this already and pre-made print plates, go ahead and get it through the link down in the description. All right, let's get straight into this. So first and foremost, how on earth are we going to put these things all together? So some of you might already know this, but we have these things called dual clips. Now, dual clips come in two different flavors. There is the light dual clip and the normal dual clip right here. The normal dual clip is a lot stronger. The light dual clip is a lot weaker, but it's a lot easier to play around with. So usually I test around build with the light dual clip, and then when I really want to like concretely make almost permanent, I use the normal dual clip. So let me show you how to both add and remove them. So I'm just going to grab myself a beam here, and here is a dual clip. I'm going to use the clip tool. I'm going to use the empty void that is right here. I'm going to press it here. It will click into place, and there it is. Now to get it out, you can use this right here. You go ahead, slide it on to one side, and then you pry it off to one side like that. Don't pull it. You've got to pry it off to the side. Or if you're having a particularly stubborn dual clip, then you can use the dual clip plier, which is this lovely little collection of parts right here. To put it together, you're going to go and just put this thread straight into there, and you get this nut and you put it on the top. Now, usually you don't actually have to like nut and screw this all the way down. You just go from here, you put that like so, press down, and then usually at this point you can just pry it off to one side. But again, if you're having a particularly stubborn one, you can tighten this nut down, which is going to give that an extra grip around it, and then you can pull it out. And then from there, you can just undo this like so. You then click it this way, and then you're able to pull out that dual clip from here. Now, the light dual clip is a lot, well, lighter to use, and the way you can go about using it is literally just with your fingers, and you just go put that in like so. If you want to take it out, you grab it with your fingers, you give it a little wiggle, and it'll come straight back out like so. Now, I usually use the light dual clips, and for all of this build, I will just be using the light dual clips apart from one little area, because honestly, most of the time, light dual clips are just fine. I do want to point out one other thing though. If you really want to make things sort of pretty heavy duty, you can put as many clips as you want on here to really clip things together, but just be aware when you increase the density past a clip every 25, it gets incredibly hard. And even when you do one every 25, the way you want to go about doing it is like a zipper. So you would have it like this. You would have a clip point, and then you would have a blank, and then you would have a clip, and on this one it would be blank, clip, and blank. So you would be able to clip one in, clip the next in, and then clip the next in, because I'm telling you right now, when you do that with the normal dual clips and you have it all just on one side, it gets incredibly difficult to actually clip things all in, because the normal full-on dual clips are made to hold things together really securely. Okay, now that we've had that little side tangent there, let's actually go ahead and put things together. Now I'm going to be using a normal dual clip right here into this blank, and I'm just going to put it to one side of this 4 MU beam, MU multi-units, because this is according to 4 here. So it's going to go from 1 all the way to the 4th one here, and it stops there. So that's 4 units, and why it doesn't go to the end, so there's space for corners. Then I'm going to get this cap, and I'm going to put the cap onto that dual clip, because the cap needs a little bit extra hold to it. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to get a corner here that I already have pre-prepared. I've just got clips all around it, and I'm going to clip that into place like so. And then here's where it gets a little bit not complicated. I just need to point out that you need to think things through, because we're about to start assembling all of this, and the order of assembly now actually matters. So I'm going to add all the other clips to this one, not this, because of the order of assembly that I'm wanting to go with here. So I'm adding the clip up here. I'll add it down here. I'll also add it onto this one here and this one right here. So we now have these two side beams, so to speak, as well as this one other bottom beam here. Now, how on earth are we going to put these all together? Well, first I want to decide which way round and how I want this and all that. Well, first I need to point out one little thing, which is these tiles do have an orientation. So you see this one has two slits up here on the top, and then if we rotate around, this one has one thread slit there. Where there's that single thread slit, that is the upwards direction of the thread, and sometimes you need that to be aware of it. For this build you don't, but I'm just pointing that out now because in the 3D space this really does start to matter. Normally when you're building your boards you can't really screw it up. It's just the way that it goes. So then with this one, I'm just going to double check on my pre-made one. I've got a smooth surface out here, so I'm going to make sure my smooth surface is on the outside. And I'm just going to clip one side into here like so. I've just done a mistake because I should have clipped this one in first, because I cannot clip this now in place because of that. And this is why I was saying here's where things get a little bit more, well, complicated, because the order of assembly matters. Now to remove things, the way I do it is I grab it and I grab it and I get my thumbs and I squeeze them together to make a very sort of parallel, is it parallel pull, so it doesn't has the chance of snapping any of these jewel clips. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to click it into place, make sure that I've got this the right way around because that's how I want it. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click that like so. Now I'm going to be able to grab this one and I'm going to be able to click it into place. Now I'm going to start in the corner first. So just make sure that's in there. And then I'm going to clip my way all the way up and then have that clipped like so. And I will do the same on this side as well. I will clip that bottom one down in there. And then I'll work my way up and up here. Of course, if you're using the more heavy duty clips, it's going to be a little bit harder. Now we have our two side pieces here. And now let's do the other bits. Now, of course, the order of assembly now really matters. So I'm going to grab myself the bottom. I've already added my clips onto it. And I'm going to go and start from the bottom upwards. So I'm clipping this one in here. And clipping that in there. And clipping that right there. And I'll do the same with this one here. I'm going to clip this here. Clip that there and clip that there. Now I've got to think, how am I going to put this all together? Because if I grab myself this tile here, I can't just, let me go back to going with both of these. I can't just decide, okay, I'm going to clip this in, because how on earth am I going to clip this down when this is here? So I've got to first do these side pieces. Now these side pieces, you could just go full on like this, but just be aware, these are just clips. Sometimes there's a little bit of a wiggle in them, so just be aware of which way you want to do this. So I'm going to support it with my finger here as I press it down. I'm going to do it to this side. I'm going to do it to the other side as well. Now this one has a more of a rough side that I don't like. I'm going to make that the back of my basket here, so I'll go this way and I'm going to clip that in here. I mean, make sure I face that correctly for you so you can see what I'm doing. I'm clicking that there and I'm clipping that in there. Okay, now that I have this, just be aware it's a little bit wobbly. But now I'm going to put this all together. Now, how do I go about doing this? Usually, I don't do it this way. I try and find the most stable method. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to move this camera up so you get to see what I'm doing. And the way that I go about it is, again, I try and do the corners first from one side, and then I do the other side there, making sure that they're all getting lined up. So I line it all up first, because if you start just clipping things in and things aren't lined in, you're going to have a really hard time of it. So it's looking like it's all lined up, lined up. This one isn't quite lined up. There it is, lined up. And now I can now just start pressing it down and clipping it all in. Ow, that pinched my finger. Just be aware that wherever you have those non-light jewel clips, it's going to pull that part much stronger towards it. And I'll do the exact same thing on the other side here. I'm going to click that into place right there. Make sure it's all lined up nicely. There it is. And now I'll just clip that here. Go over to the other side, clip that down. That's all clipped there. I'll clip this one here, and I'll clip this one right there. Okay, this is now all clipped into place. Be aware that I'm using the light clips, which is why it's got a little bit more of a give to it than it usually does. But that's because I'm taking this apart all the time, and it's good enough for me. Light clips can hold a surprising amount. Okay, now how on earth are we going to get this up onto here? So for the sake of this example, I'm going to grab this here, because this already has some some half multi-points, and I want to just show off that we're going to be using these new half multi-point hole snaps. Now there's two different types here. You're going to have one that's going to have a hole and one doesn't have a hole, and one of them, the one that has a hole, is the inverted one, so that's this way around. But you'll see they have a little arrow on them. The little arrow points to the part that is the moderate weight bearing hook side of things. Now this is important because I'm about to show you right now what's going to happen. So if I have this is built to take weight, so this is built to take weight like so. So if I clip this into here, right, and then I were to grab this one in place right here, and then I were to pull, that's going to pull out the snap from there. So how on earth do we stop that from happening? Well, that's why we have the inverted type, because if you were to put one connection up above, another connection down below, and they're inverted, and their hooks are going to counteract one pulling from the other, that's how we're going to create a super strong connection. So let me just go ahead and let's do that actually up on the board. So I'm just going to put this back up there, and then let's go far, and let's go for a nice close-up that way. So we have, oh wait, I forgot to point out one more thing. Goodness me. Let's go close here quickly. I forgot to point out this little thing here. Oh, where am I going? Yeah, close up this way, which is the half multi-points. Goodness me, I'm all over the place. The half multi-points right here, because they come in two varieties, this sort of split variety and a fold variety. And what we have here is the split variety. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab this split variety. We're going to grab this little card. We're going to put it in there, and then we're going to put it together. Now, before we put them together, the thread is different. So let's take a look here. This one here, the arrow is pointing upwards, and this half multi-point is in the upwards direction. So this means that it is a top half multi-point. Let me go grab our bottom half multi-point. So here it is. Here's a bottom half multi-point already in a small thread moderate weight bearing snap. And here it is. So if I point the arrows upwards, so pointing the arrow upwards, the half multi-point is pointing downwards. This is a bottom one, and this one here is a top one. I hope you can see how the arrows always point up, and then the orientation of the point changes, and this changes the thread orientation on it. Now these small thread moderate weight bearing snaps have a hook that is right here up at the top, but also the thread orientation is that same direction. So when we rotate this into place and we tighten it up, now if you need a little extra tightening, you can use that jewel clip. It has the jewel clip tool. It has this face on it to go onto it to just tighten things up. You can see the arrows are pointing up, and the arrow is matching that up arrow there. So I'll do the same on this one right here. And this time around, this is going to be the pointing upwards. There it is. So this is now pointing upwards. Now you have for a whole bunch of these, you have 2 that are going to be pointing upwards, and you have another 2 that are going to be pointing downwards. And that is because we're going to be doing this sort of like weird, let me go this way, this weird sort of like counter-rotating hook that's going to happen. But the way that it's going to happen is we're going to put it together on this basket first, and it'll make sense once it's up on the wall. So first, take a look. We're going to go here. We're going to grab ourselves the holes, because the way that I like to do it is I like to put all the hooks onto the wall and all the holes into what's going to be attaching to it. So this one here, the hook part is going to be up at the top because we're going to have this as a hook on the wall. So this is going to be hooking on in this direction. So this way, this top, it's going to go all the way up here at the top of this one. And then I'm going to do another one on the other side. So the same, I'm going to use an inverted snap. We're going to put it this way, up this way like so. And then I'm going to grab the other one, and you could just go down here. Actually, yeah, why not? Let's just go down there. So I'm going to grab this one, and this hook needs to be this way around because that's how we're going to be hooking on. So there it is. So now you understand both of these are orientated in the right way so they can hook on like so. And we'll do the exact same on this side, pointing this one downwards now, and just put it into place. Come on. Get there. It's so hard sometimes to put this together while I'm not actually looking at it and trying to show you guys. Now, this way around, now what we're going to take a look at, and I'm going to go here just on to the close view. You can see, let's go there, the hook is up here and the hook is down there. So the 2 hooks are counteracting one another. So that means when there's an angular force that gets pulled on this, so when this gets pulled this way, so when this is, let me try and get this good. So when we have it this way, this is the wall here, and this tries to get pulled this way, the bottom hook is going to counteract that pull. Okay, now let's go and put this up onto the wall. So there we go, going up here. I'm going to grab myself all of these lovely threads here. And let's see, is that close enough? Maybe you need to come a little bit closer. Let's see, yeah, that's too far. Come a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to first start with just the top ones to show you the problem that we have. So I'm going to just grab this. So first I need to look which one's going to be. So this way I want the hook this way. So that means that when I say the hook this way, I mean I want this to be a top hooking action, and I want the moderate weight bearing snap to be up on top of it. So I'm going to grab myself a top one. Let me just go here close up for you guys to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to grab myself this one here first, right? So a normal top half multi-point with a moderate weight bearing snap with a small thread, and I'm going to put that in a location that I want. So let's say right here. Okay, there it is. I'll just hook that up onto there. So that's there. I'm going to go 8 along, and I'll do the exact same one. So not that one, but not that one, but this one. So let's go 8 along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put that right there. There it is. Which means I can now grab this and I can just put that directly onto there. Now the issue is, because the bottom ones are not in place, there could be an angular force like so, which would just take the snaps directly off of this. And that's not exactly really useful. So let's just put those snaps back on like that. There we go. And let's go back up and let's go and grab the other 2 snaps that we have here. So again, let me just show you. These snaps are the moderate weight bearing ones with the hook downwards, but the way that we're going to have them set up is going to be this way around, so that when they get pulled, this hook is going to counteract the pull. So now let's do exactly that. right here. So 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one here, put it right there. Give that a good click, and we'll do that all the way on this side here as well. Make sure that I have it the right way around and put that in there. Oh, come on. There, give that a good click, and that's now fit in place. And that is now all ready to go. I can just grab myself my basket pack, put it there, and that's it now, solid and in place. So there it is. I can just grab myself a nice full bottle here, put it on there. It's going to hold it. And if you use the normal jewel clips, it's going to hold even more. So with that all said and done, that is the lovely simple basket pack video. It truly is one of my favorite builds thus far, and there are so many other things that you can do with it. I cannot wait to see what you're going to get making with them all. And of course, thank you for watching, and keep making.